My life is as mysterious to me as serial killing. I don't think I was meant for this place. There must have been some kind of mistake, a mix-up somewhere. I keep looking around me, trying to make sense of some of the madness going on in the world and in my life, and finding that I'm eclipsed and that there is no escape. Things that go on in this world are just beyond my being able to describe. The more you try to understand why things are the way they are, the more you realize that we're all truly insane for going along with any of it. We've convinced ourselves that we are individual, existing with a society made up of nations divided by imaginary borders. We've convinced ourselves that our time is worth an imaginary currency, founded on precious stones we stole from a raped earth. We've convinced ourselves of religion, sciences, histories, mathematics, and languages, and all of these are imaginary words for things we believe we understand. Do you wonder if the animal is in his cage to protect us from it, or to protect it from us? Do you wonder why the letters of the alphabet look like people dancing? Do you wonder why you call yourself by a name you never chose? Do you wonder why you feel ashamed to be naked in front of your parents who birthed and raised you? Do you wonder how many people must be staring into televisions and monitors right now, surfing, clicking, typing, laughing, watching, viewing, copying, pasting, cutting, hacking, playing games, writing blogs, changing MySpace layouts, downloading songs, or jacking off? Do you wonder how painted lines on concrete keep us herded on interstates and roads like sheep? Do you wonder why Southern California burns from wildfires every year, but no one ever leaves? They just keep building and defying, and every year their houses burn to ash again and again. Do you wonder what it would be like to tear off all your clothes and run through the door into the street, screaming at the top of your lungs? Do you wonder how much or how little force it may take for you to go mad and pick up a machete and start flaying the flesh off of perfect strangers, strangle your wife to death with your bare hands, or take a machine gun and sneak into the dead of night into a village in Vietnam and murder everyone inside of their little straw huts? Do you wonder what it would take to go to the edge of reason and dive off, falling and falling and falling, and finding that there is no bottom, and that it just goes on forever, deeper and deeper and deeper to the center of the earth and out the other side until you're thrown out into space? There's so many tiny insanities going on all around us that no one even questions because we are a part of it, because we are assimilated into it with ideas and words and sounds and feelings that have no meaning to us at all, feelings that were given to us by others. There are wars that are and still being fought over ideas. Ideas, not things or people, not things we could see or touch. Men and women and children are dying. They are being dragged in the streets and shot. They are being raped or imprisoned or both or worse. They are starving and they are filled with sadness and hopelessness, and if you were asked to tell them why, you wouldn't even be able to, because you don't even know. There are soldiers with guns and grenades and tanks and jeeps with mounted machine guns and fields of landmines surrounded by barbed wire and anti-aircraft missiles, and bases filled with more men wearing body armor and masks carrying knives. And all these people and all these weapons have been created for the sole purpose of destroying everything that is part of the idea that they are fighting. And these men and their weapons are sent into battle against each other because countries and men and dictators have decided that there will be a war. Leaders and men that have been trusted with money, strength, resources, and the power to control us have come together to make the intelligent decision to destroy each other. But not to destroy each other for any kind of profit or material value, not for any oil or gold or diamonds or uranium or whatever in the world we consider valuable. Instead, they choose to destroy one another because they cannot forgive each other's beliefs. They feel so strongly that they are right and that their enemy is wrong, that they will wipe them from the face of the earth with fire and bullets and disease and every terrible instrument that can be imagined. And while the world burns to ash and the sky fills with smoke and the ice melts and the oceans rise and the volcanoes grow angry and the world shakes and the storms crash against the coast and plagues spread from blood to needle to blood and condoms break and babies are aborted and the bombs start to fall and lightning crashes and we all start to lose control. And while the soldiers and nations are at war, we sit at home and shuffle the playlists on our iPods, undecided on what to listen to next. We change the channel instead of watching the news. We read fashion magazines and scan the headlines in the paper, shaking our heads but doing nothing. They tell us the economy is crashing and that Wall Street is to blame, but know that we don't understand any of it. They tell us our market is failing, but gas prices drop below $2 after years of having been nearly $4. They tell us to invest in new hybrid cars to reduce global warming while they build new coal plants and bail out the auto industry. They tell us that they're bringing change, but I see the same emptiness in their eyes, and I remember the last part of Animal Farm, where the pigs and the men are playing cards and no one can see the difference between them. They take their money, the money that we've worked for, the money we earned, the money we gave them and placed in their trust for programs like Social Security, and use that money to fuel their wars in the desert and fill their pockets. They dictate their laws and their morals and their ideas over us, and we must bow and accept them or face the same injustice as our enemy. Our armies will one day be turned against us, and it will not be the Iraqis or the Taliban who threaten our freedom, but our own sons and daughters wearing their uniforms, gold crosses, and swastikas. It will be our own soldiers and our peacekeepers who will circle us like wolves and dare us to question authority. And we will bow our heads in silence and do nothing. They will strip us of our weapons and our reason and our will. We will give in without a struggle, because this is all we've ever known, and our spirit has been eroded. This is America.